How well do we really know Samantha Strong? We've seen her meticulously plan murders, her cold precision, and that eerie sense of order she brings to every crime. But where did it all begin? What happens when someone searching for their life's purpose stumbles into something even darker? Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees Praeludium isn't just a prequel. It's a glimpse into Samantha's past. It's the missing puzzle piece that reveals the moment everything changed. What was Sam like before the hardware store, before the original series, and before she truly understood what she was meant to do? And more importantly, what did it take for her to finally find her appetite? Stay tuned to find out. The prequel to Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees takes us back to 1962 and explores an important moment in Samantha Strong's life, her first murder. This issue not only provides insight into Sam's early years, but it also lays the foundation for the dark path she will eventually walk. So first things first, this comic is not easy to come by. It debuted as a New York Comic-Con exclusive, with a few retailer variants floating around as well. Currently, the only way to get your hands on a copy seems to be through eBay. One standout cover variant, and the one that I picked up, is painted by Dave Dorman, and it features Sam's passport, a subtle but essential piece of the puzzle. The passport reveals Sam's birth date as October 18th, 1941, placing her in her mid-40s during the events of the main series. A small but fascinating detail that may give us more clues about her motivations in the future. The subtitle Praeludium is a medieval Latin term meaning prelude, or something that precedes a significant event. The name fits perfectly, as this issue serves as the prequel to Samantha's story and the moment she discovers her true and dark purpose. The story opens with Samantha in a restaurant in Germany. She's alone, and her plate of food is barely touched. The date on her passport reads June 24th, 1962, placing her in the middle of a summer journey through Europe. Though she hasn't said much yet, there's something unsettled about her. A waitress approaches and speaks in German. "You did not eat." But Sam doesn't understand her, apologizing for her poor grasp of the language. When she looks down at her untouched plate, she simply says, "Guess I wasn't hungry." The waitress shrugs and walks off, leaving Sam alone with her thoughts. We begin to understand more of Sam's state of mind through her inner narration. She mentions backpacking from town to town, though she isn't sure why. It's clear that at 21 years old, she is searching for something, some kind of direction, and some kind of purpose. She describes herself as a pile of twisty rope that won't lay flat. It's an eerie analogy, and one that suggests internal tension, an unnamed urge winding itself tighter inside her. As she steps outside, she flags down a passing car, and the driver, upon realizing she's American, enthusiastically invites her in. "You're American, hop in." He's friendly, perhaps too friendly. And as fans of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, we all know where this is going, even if he doesn't. As they drive, the man asks if she's planning to camp in the Black Forest, a name almost too fitting given what's to come later. Sam introduces herself and thanks him for the ride, explaining that she originally planned to camp near Gloucester. The driver, however, convinces her to follow him to a more private location instead. "You can see the true beauty of this land," he tells her, "the solitude of the forest." The next scene finds Sam and the driver hiking deep into the wilderness. He offers to take a break, but she refuses, determined to keep moving. As they talk, Sam shares more about herself. She graduated from college about a year ago and thought traveling the world might help her figure things out. Her parents want her to work in their hardware store back in Woodbrook, but to her, settling down there would mean giving up entirely. The man assures her that the forest is the perfect place to figure these things out, There's something sinister about the way he says it, even if he doesn't realize that he's the one in danger. They set up camp, unfolding a utility shovel and hammering stakes into the ground for the tents. As they settle in, the man notices something odd. Sam still hasn't eaten. The theme of her empty appetite from earlier lingers, and it's becoming clear that it isn't about food at all. As night falls, the man talks about fate. He finds it incredible that Sam traveled halfway across the world and they met up. To him, this moment is meant to be. He offers Sam a marijuana cigarette, but she declines, saying that she has a lot on her mind. Then she turns in for the night, or so he thinks. The next page is chilling. Sam is standing over the man as he wakes up. We learn his name is Otto, and he has confusion and fear dawning all over his face. He tries to move, but quickly realizes he can't. He's bound, tied up, and helpless. "Are you going to drown me?" he asks, panic creeping through his voice. Sam doesn't answer right away. Instead, she tells him, "I want to try something." She then explains, "For longer than I can remember, I've wanted to take a body apart, piece by piece, and reorganize it somehow. I think I'd like to try that out with you tonight." The word that Sam uses here, reorganize, is so disturbing. She isn't just killing for the sake of violence. To her, this is a compulsive need, a way of bringing order to the chaos within her. It isn't about murder, it's a ritual, a pseudo-religious transformation. At this point, Otto thinks she's joking, but then she pulls out a knife. It is no joke, Otto. Terrified, he pleads with her. "There are people who depend on me." The line mirrors Sam's thoughts from the main series, when she reflected on the families of her past victims at Martin's funeral. But in this moment, she isn't moved by his words. She simply tells him she'll make it quick. The next scene is horrifying. As Sam lowers the knife, Otto screams, "Ilsa, forgive me. Mother, protect me." His cries fade as blood drifts down the river beside him. Then we see Sam's thoughts. With all these years wandering in the dark, it's like my body and spirit finally clicked into place. This is not just an act of violence. It's a revelation. For Sam, this is spiritual. And then she says the most chilling words of all. "Hallelujah, I found it." We then get a gruesome series of panels. Sam decapitates Otto with a utility shovel, and then dismembers his body piece by piece. She wraps each limb in pieces of the tent with an almost obsessive precision. The narration reinforces her sense of purpose. A wave of calm and order. It had been waiting for me to find it this whole time. By dawn, the deed is done. She buries the remains in a perfectly dug rectangular hole, covers it with dirt, and walks away. She's found what she's been looking for all this time. Sam then returns to the diner from the beginning of the comic, but now something has changed. This time she eats. She devours 2 full meals. The waitress asks if she wants another plate, but Sam declines. 2 orders is enough. As she prepares to leave, another waitress remarks, "Americans always get lost in the woods." Sam smirks, thanks them for the food, and walks out. The final narration confirms what we already know. Lost in the woods, but I found my appetite. Her hunger has been awakened, not for food, but for something much darker. Patrick Horvath shares the origins of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees on the final page of the comic, in a letter to readers, explaining how the idea for a small-town bear serial killer first came to him as a random doodle several years ago. Struck by the contrast between the bear's innocent appearance and its violent nature, he became fascinated with the concept of a killer, blending into a seemingly wholesome community. Drawing from his interest in serial killers and the hidden depths within ordinary people, he developed the story further, imagining Samantha as a hardware store owner who disposes of victims in paint cans. These depths are almost never something horrible. They're just part of the rich tapestry of life and community that's been running through humanity since the beginning. But suppose you did have a friendly neighbor who happened to be a serial killer, who's been thriving for the past couple of decades. Sort of terrifying and extremely interesting, right? Horvath also reflects on the challenges of maintaining a secret life and how things can unravel when another, more reckless killer enters the picture. Inspired by the eerie lyrics of Teddy Bear's Picnic, he found the perfect title for his story. Beneath the trees where nobody sees, they'll hide and seek as long as they please. That's the way the teddy bears have their picnic. I'd heard the song during some commercial for a children's compilation album in the 1990s. That line had always stuck with me, and I always wondered what sinister act the bears were up to beneath the trees where nobody sees. And now I knew. So many years later, I find myself amazed that I've been able to give life to this weird little idea. And I'm even more amazed that it's found such a gracious audience. What began as a simple idea in a notebook has now resonated with people worldwide, something he finds both humbling and incredible. And I think I speak for all of us fans that we would agree. And now with Praeludium, we see where it all began. Sam didn't just become the killer we know her as. She was always searching for it. It was always deep within her psyche, waiting to be revealed. And in the Black Forest, she finally found it. Praeludium doesn't just show us where Sam has traveled. It reveals the moment she became the territorial predator we know today. But what do you think? Did this prequel add new layers to Sam's character for you? Or did it just make her even more terrifying? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Comic Drops for more comic book breakdowns, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.